So, welcome to Jumbo IS and welcome to our lecture series called Daily News in Shorts. In this lecture series, we cover that day's newspaper in a very short span of time within 20 minutes. Now, today we are going to cover July 29th, 2024's newspaper. All right. So, let's take a look at the important topics or the important news items that featured in today's newspaper. So, let's take a look at topics to be covered. Okay. Now, these are the following topics. Okay, these were the only four topics that were of concern for us. So, we need to cover these four topics, or at least these four topics should be covered by you. These are very important. Okay, number one was an article featuring in Indian Express as well as the Hindu regarding right to be forgotten. Recently, a case has been admitted in Supreme Court where a decision would be taken with respect to right to be forgotten, whether it's a fundamental right, whether it comes under the umbrella of right to privacy or not. All right. So, right to be forgotten is under discussion, especially in Supreme Court. So, what is this right to be forgotten? Okay, we'll talk about this. Then, a news article also was published in a newspaper regarding Nipun Bharat mission. So, what is this Nipun Bharat mission? How is it important for India's literacy levels or India's overall educational attainment as far as children are concerned? So, we'll talk about this. Then, recently, various advisors from central government were sent to Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. And these advisors were sent because these two states were not managing their MGNREGA funds, MGNREGA funds properly. Their entire budget for MGNREGA has been exhausted, and it's been just 7 months of the year. Their entire labor budget has been exhausted. Plus, their MGNREGA works were not functioning properly. So center has sent various advisors telling Andhra Pradesh and Telangana to, or advising them on how to manage MGNREGA. So we'll talk about MGNREGA. We won't talk about their advices or the advisories given by central government. We'll just talk about MGNREGA. All right. And in the end, recently, Congress government in the parliament has said that a proper panel should be set up to look into Great Nicobar infrastructure project. It is a 72,000 crore project in Great Nicobar Island. It is the last island in the Andaman and Nicobar Islands chain. So, environmental clearance has been given to this infrastructure project, but the Congress is demanding that this needs to be looked at. There are various environmental violations that are going to be committed under this project, so it needs to be taken care of. So, we'll talk about Great Nicobar project. All right. So, without further ado, let's start with topic number one, which is right to be forgotten. Now, what was in the news? Recently, a three-judge bench of the Supreme Court will hear a challenge against Madras High Court ruling on February 27 that directed legal search portal Indian Qanun to take down a judgment in 2014 rape and cheating case. All right. So I'll tell you what's the story behind. So there was this person who was accused of rape and cheating in 2014. All right. But he was acquitted. He was found to be innocent and he was acquitted. But that case is still there on an online portal called Indian Qanun. So that case is still there on Indian Qanun and that person's name is also there. All right. Though that person was found innocent, but his name can be found on this portal. Now, that particular person has been applying for citizenship of Australia. Now, Australians, before giving him citizenship, took a background check and they found that this person has been accused of rape and cheating case. Without looking deep into the fact that he was found innocent, Australia rejected his citizenship application. Now, that person is saying that because of this case, though I did not commit these crimes, because of this case, I am not being given Australia's citizenship because my name is on this portal. Therefore, I would ask Google and Indian Qanun to delete my name. All right. Now, this right to delete your digital footprint, this right to delete your online presence is known as right to be forgotten. Now, is this a right? Should this be a right? Can a person claim that his name anywhere on the internet should be deleted? Now, that was the case. Now, he put a petition in Madras High Court, and Madras High Court actually agreed with that person and directed Indian Qanun to delete his name. Okay. But then an appeal was filed against Madras High Court's judgment in the Supreme Court, and Supreme Court has constituted a three-judge bench to look into this right. Is there a right like a right to be forgotten? Is it a fundamental right as per Indian Constitution? What are the contours of this right? When should this right be applied? When it should not be? Okay, because there are certain things, there are certain names that are public information. So, for example, if you type on Google, who's the Prime Minister of India, and you don't find anything, then that would be wrong, right? So, there are certain limitations to right to be forgotten, and that would be decided by Supreme Court. The Supreme Court case will shape the contours of right to be forgotten. Now, this right to be forgotten is nothing new. It exists in European Union, and it goes by the name of right to erasure. So this top court, our Supreme Court, shall decide whether it is a fundamental right or not. This is question number 1 in front of Supreme Court. And the other question is how this right to be forgotten is related to other fundamental rights. Okay, so these are the questions. These are the two primary questions that Supreme Court needs to decide upon. And that is why this case has been filed. Okay, now let's talk a bit about right to be forgotten. Okay, so what is the definition? Basically, it is the right to remove one's digital footprint from the internet searches, where it violates the right to privacy. So basically, all over the world, right to be forgotten comes under the umbrella of right to privacy. If a person feels that his name is on the internet searches and his name on the internet searches is doing more harm than good, and it is not public information, then he can request the social media giants to remove his name. Okay, this is right to be forgotten. Now, as per Article 17 of European Union's General Data Protection Regulations, so this is European Union's privacy law, GDPR. So GDPR is European Union's privacy law, and Article 17 of this privacy law in European Union actually describes right to be forgotten as right to erasure, and it guarantees right to be forgotten or right to erasure in European Union. So European Union already has this right, and it is provided in European Union's law called GDPR under Article 17. In EU, European Union, search engines must cater to individual requests to remove data that appear to be inadequate. So if you find that your data, your personal name is inadequate, it is irrelevant, it is no longer relevant, it is no longer public information, but it is doing harm to you, then you can ask search engines, if you are a EU citizen, to remove that. Now, right to be forgotten is nowhere mentioned in India, but there are similar rights in India. So what are those rights, and what is the situation in India? So basically, there is no law with respect to right to be forgotten. Neither right to be forgotten is mentioned in Indian Constitution. But in 2017, Puttaswamy case in Supreme Court, right to privacy was made a fundamental right. So in 2017, as per Supreme Court's judgment in Puttaswamy case, right to privacy was made a fundamental right. And people are arguing that right to be forgotten is part of right to privacy, because basically you don't want your privacy to be breached in online spaces, right? That's why you are asking to be forgotten. So some people argue that it's under right to privacy, and right to privacy is under fundamental rights. So by default, by this logic, right to be forgotten is a fundamental right. Now, this is what people are saying. Supreme Court would take a call on this. Supreme Court will decide whether right to be forgotten is part of right to privacy. Though in 1994, Supreme Court had given a right which is similar to right to be forgotten called right to be let alone. Okay, it was way back in 1994. In 1994, internet was not such big a thing. There was no Google, right? So Supreme Court's 1994 ruling is not related to the internet or right to be forgotten. Supreme Court actually named it right to be let alone. That you can delete your name from public information, or you can delete your name from open information. But in this ruling also, Supreme Court mentioned that there is a difference between right to be let alone and public information. So if your name is in public information, that cannot be deleted. So Supreme Court actually made a distinction. But there was no internet back then, so people are questioning this judgment. Apart from internet, this judgment holds. Rajagopal versus State of Tamil Nadu. Okay, so this is the current situation in India. All right, okay. Now let's move on to our next news item, which is Nipun Bharat Mission. Now, what is Nipun Bharat Mission? Look, basically in 2020, National New Education Policy came out. And in new education policy, various recommendations were made. One recommendation was that before children reach third standard, grade 3, they should be able to, or they should have foundational literacy. They should have foundational literacy and numeracy. Many people and many studies in India found that students who all over India who are studying in grade 3 or third standard can't even write basic sentences, can't even read basic sentences, can't even do basic calculations like addition and subtraction, basic calculation like 4 plus 3, like that. So there were students in India which did not have these foundation literacy and numeracy capabilities. Now, India doesn't want that, because these children, if in grade 3 they are in such a bad situation, they won't rise further, right? How can you expect them to do well in standard 10th or standard 9th if they are that bad in grade 3? Okay, so Government of India has decided, as per new education policy, that government will ensure that all students till grade 3, which is basically 3 to 9 years of age bracket, right? all students will have foundational literacy. That means they can write basic sentences, they can read basic sentences, they can do basic calculations, so addition, subtraction. All right. And to achieve that, to achieve this recommendation of new education policy, Government of India launched Nipun Bharat Mission. Nipun is actually a short form for something which is National Initiative for Proficiency in Reading with Understanding and Numeracy. So foundational literacy basically. And it was launched on July 5th, 2021. Now, what are the major key or what are the key features of this mission? Okay, first of all, it was launched by Ministry of Education in 2021. You have to remember this. Then it is currently being implemented by Department of School Education and Literacy, which is part of Ministry of Education. What is its aim? To ensure universal acquisition of foundational literacy. Please be aware of this word, foundational literacy. It means basic reading and writing capabilities, and foundational numeracy, basic calculations, among children by the age of grade 3 to 9 years. And the objective, or this objective should be achieved by 2026-27. Now for that, government has also launched Nishtha portal to achieve Nipun Bharat mission's objectives. Look, basically, if you want to achieve success in this mission, then you need to have a separate module for teachers also. So under Nipun Bharat mission, teachers training module is also there. Teachers are also being trained so that foundational literacy is imparted to these students, because without properly trained teachers, you cannot achieve the objective of imparting foundational literacy to students in India, right? Now for teacher training, there is this portal called Nishtha portal. Its full form is National Initiative for School Heads and Teachers Holistic Advancement. And this Nishtha initiative was launched by NCRT. Now it is basically a capacity building program of teachers. Its main aim is to improve quality of school education through integrated teacher training. So it is basically a teacher training program. So without Nishtha, Nipun Bharat won't be successful. So that is why NCRT launched this. All right. So these are the basic facts that you need to be aware of. All right. Now let's straight away jump to topic number 3, which is MGNREGA Expenditure. Why I have included the word expenditure? Because central government actually kind of reprimanded, though they did not punish, but kind of reprimanded Andhra Pradesh and Telangana state governments. And they reprimanded them. Why? Because they have exhausted their MGNREGA budget or labor budget for this year. And still there are around, 5 months left. Okay, but they have already exhausted their budget. Okay, that means they have not been managing their MGNREGA expenditure or MGNREGA project properly. These two states, right? Center has sent advisories to Telangana and Andhra Pradesh governments over generation of high person days. They have generated over-employment under MGNREGA and selection of renovations and desilting works. There are two problems that were found by central government. First, they are over-employing people under MGNREGA. Then the next was that not all projects were being covered under MGNREGA. A few projects were given more priority than others. Okay. Now the center's advisory to the two states is significant as both have used up their labor budget. Now basically, what is MGNREGA? We'll talk about this. So MGNREGA is basically a guarantee scheme, employment guarantee scheme, and it is a statutory employment guarantee scheme. Why it is statutory? Because there was an act of parliament that was passed for it. So it is one of the largest work guarantee programs in the world, launched in 2005 by Ministry of Rural Development, and currently Ministry of Rural Development implements it. Now this scheme actually provides rural households, remember, only for rural households, no urban people. Rural households, 100 days of guaranteed employment. So if rural households are unable to find employment, well, 100 days of guaranteed employment can be found if they register under this scheme. And what would they do under this employment? Well, for 100 days, they will be asked to do unskilled manual work. So sometimes road renovation, road cleaning, desilting of canals, okay, unskilled manual work that state needs to or the governments need to do. They would hire these people, and these people would be hired for 100 days of guaranteed employment at a statutory minimum wage. So there is no question of giving less wages also. Now, any rural adult can request work. And if he or she is not given work within 15 days, then he will be compensated for it. Will be given some unemployment allowance. Plus, there is one more good thing for female labor force participation rate. For female employment, it is said that under MGNREGA, 1/3 of beneficiaries should be females. Okay, so kind of there is 33% reservation for females. All right. Now, Andhra Pradesh and Telangana government have been accused of employing too many people. Okay, generating too many work days or person days. Okay, plus they are only implementing one or two particular types of manual work projects, not all. Okay, that is the issue. Though Manrega has been lauded everywhere in the world, everywhere in the world, people are commending India that they have such a scheme. Okay, there are various sustainable development goals that India achieves through this scheme. What are those sustainable development goals? Well, if you're employing unemployed people, then poverty is reduced. Okay, this is sustainable development goal number one. Then hunger is reduced, sustainable development goal number two. Then good health and well-being if they have money. Quality education, these people will be able to send their kids to schools. Gender equality because of one-third reservation, decent working and economic growth, infrastructure is bettered through my manual work, and inequality is reduced because these poor people are given work. Okay, so MGNREGA is a very important scheme. It helps us achieve at least 8 sustainable development goals. All right. Okay. News item number 3 is also over. Now let's jump to our last news item, which is Great Nicobar project. We have already covered this project in our previous lectures, but let's revise it. Okay. Now, why was this project? Because Congress recently has sought a thorough, impartial review of Great Nicobar infrastructure project by Parliamentary Panel on Environment. So basically, there is this infrastructure project that government is constructing or committing to in Great Nicobar Island. Now, you know about Andaman Nicobar Islands chain, right? Now, Great Nicobar Island is the last among these islands. Okay, and government is building an airport, a power plant, and many other infrastructure projects. Now, this big infrastructure project will cost government 72,000 crores. So it is a mega infrastructure project in Great Nicobar Island, and government wants to construct this because government wants to increase its presence in the Indian Ocean. All right. Now, government has already started working on this project, but many people are accusing that government is not taking care of the ecosystem in that on that island. Government is actually violating various environmental regulations. Okay. Therefore, Congress has said that there should be a parliamentary panel on environment and it should look into the environmental violations of this project. Plus, already National Green Tribunal's high-powered committee inquired into the project. And in that inquiry, they found that there were accusations against a port, transshipment port that was being developed on the Great Nicobar Islands. There were accusations following environmental guidelines. Okay, there were accusations that coastal regulation zone. There are rules with respect to development projects in coastal areas. These are known as coastal regulation zones. So the entire coastal area is divided into coastal regulation zones like 1A, 1B. Now in 1A, there is no construction allowed, but in 1B it is allowed. Now people were accusing that this port is being constructed on 1A, but National Green Tribunal's HPC found it is being constructed in 1B and construction in 1B is allowed. So National Green Tribunal basically gave a green signal to the project. Okay, but Congress and opposition parties are arguing that this is contrary to the information submitted by earlier agencies, which said that we are constructing a port in 1A. Now NGT know that port lies in 1B. So there are contrary information that is coming out of the government. There needs to be an impartial inquiry. Okay, about the project. Well, the project will cost 72,000 crores. Okay, first phase will cost 19,000 crores, and this project will be implemented on Great Nicobar Island, which is the last of the island chain among Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Now, this entire infrastructure project, this 72,000 crore project, includes a transshipment port, a greenfield international airport, a proper township for people or workers in that area, a solar and gas-based power plant. Now, this entire project, 72,000 crore rupees project, will be developed by Andaman and Nicobar Islands Integrated Development Corporation. Okay, so this is what you need to know about the project. The project hasn't started yet. Okay, it's already in with respect to environmental violations, but it hasn't started yet. So this is enough information for you to know. Okay. And with that, we conclude today's session. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. And I'm sure it is adding value to your preparation, though it would add more value if you're consistent and regular with this lecture series. Make sure that you're regular with this. Only then you'll be able to say with confidence that your current affairs portion for your exam is a done deal. Okay? Now you may not realize its importance, but once your exam is near, you will know that how important regular coverage of current affairs was important. How important was it? Okay, so that is why it is my sincere request. Make sure that you make this your daily habit. Make it a part of your daily routine. All right. On that note, I'll be signing off, and I'll see you with next day's current affairs tomorrow. Thank you, everyone.